compañeros y compañeras, today we are greeted with a very significant news, and that news is something that will have a deep impact and effect on the country 6 years down the line. And I am referring to the press release of the Lakas ng Bayan PDP-Laban telling us that President Duterte has already accepted their recommendation and their proposal for the President to run as Vice President in the 2022 presidential elections. But before we proceed, please subscribe to the Blackcaster Armand YouTube channel, because in this channel, I will not only present to you the news, but I will give you the significance behind the news that I am telling you. Okay, let's proceed. The press release, as issued today, said that the PDP-Laban, based on popular calls from regional, provincial, and down to the barangay councils, and aspiring for a transition of leadership that will guarantee continuity of the administration's programs during the past 5 years, including 1. Ito na po yung mga detalye na binibigay nila. Battle against terrorism, insurgency, corruption and poverty, and the scourge of illegal drugs. And then second reason, the successful implementation of the Build program and the 10-point socio-economic agenda. And this I find curious why this only comes as a third reasoning. And that is to ensure that the country's COVID-19 vaccination program will be sustained in the critical stage of the pandemic, where targets are steadily achieved. And we know very well that this government is not very popular as far as the fight against COVID is concerned. So no wonder they put first battle against terrorism, insurgency, corruption, poverty. But you ask yourselves, how many relatives and friends did you have who have died of gunshot wound or knifing from a rebel, from the NPA or the MNLF or the MILF? How many have you seen dying because of the bombings? Very few. Mostly only in the Mindanao and only in the provinces. Not here in Manila, not in Baguio, not in Rizal, not in Batangas. But there you have it. It is their number one reason. And that is because as far as COVID, it is less their priority, and also they know they are unpopular when it comes to COVID. So now they say, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte agreed to make the sacrifice, his sacrifice or our sacrifice, and heed the clamor of the people and accepted the endorsement of the PDP-Laban party for him to run as Vice President in the 2022 national elections. And then the press release also says, and by the way, this is a legit news as signed by Secretary Carlo Nograles, who also sits as Executive Vice President of PDP-Laban. And then they also listed their senatorial candidates as Deputy Speaker Rodante Marcoleta, DICT Secretary Gregorio Honasan, Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo, Department of Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade, and Department of Public Works and Highways Secretary Mark Villar. So, and lastly, the last paragraph, they said these matters will be taken up during their convention on September 8, 2021. So then they will finalize this. So what is the significance of this? It is the fact that Although we already knew this, and the President has already said this over and over again, and this is just like pro forma, and this really came from the President's desire to run. This means that they are really going to the game plan of making the President run for Vice President and making Sara run for President. But it will really look unusual and even suspicious, and even people will say that it's too much. Yung po ang sasabihin ng tao na sobra na talaga ito na father and daughter. This is the first in the history of the Philippines, and also maybe one of the first in the world, because this is rarely done in more advanced countries in the world. So only in the Philippines this is being done. So they have to give us the impression that they are running in two parties, with Sara Duterte running as president in Hugpong, and she will be choosing a weak candidate so that he will not ease out, or he will not defeat President Duterte. And so she's getting, initially she said Gibo, but now there are other candidates that are being considered. And definitely I think she will never get Marcos. And then President Duterte also, as they already told the public, Bongo will run as president. That way, everybody knows that between Bongo and Sara, of course, Sara will win, because Bongo is just the assistant, whereas Sara is the daughter. So, parang moro-moro na lang po talaga ito, parang sarsuela. This is just to tell the public na hindi naman po ito dynasty, dahil separate party po si President Duterte, separate party si Sara, pero ganon pa rin po ang kalalabasan. Ganon pa rin po babaksak yung resulta ng gusto nilang mangyari. So, I hope the public will be wise enough to spot this setup that they are foisting on us. Dapat po maging wise na tayo. Ang masasabi ko lang po, magbubumerang po ito sa kanila. Pwede si President Duterte manalo as Vice President, pero sasabihin ng tao, isa lang Duterte ang pipiliin ko. Nakita niyo naman nangyari yung mga ejercitos when they run together. May mga mga Cayetanos na nanalo, pero different elections po, hindi sabay-sabay. So, I would really see the President Roa Duterte running or winning, but this decision might affect the candidacy of Mayor Sara Duterte, and faced by a very increasingly strong and popular political rival like Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, there will be a chance that people will say, iba naman. Let us try another set of public officials. Imagine, there are 108 million Filipinos. So, wala na bang mas magaling pa sa mga Duterte? So, this will boomerang really. And this is even a disadvantage to them, I would say, because this is a move that will only invite disenchantment from the people. Remember, people are already suffering from COVID, and this government is known. People are already talking about it, that they have failed in the response against COVID, and yet we will again have two Dutertes, and with them Secretary Duque, and with them all the other officials, that the PhilHealth officials, the officials who got scot-free because of for letting billions of drugs enter the country, and 16 billion from PhilHealth, and now the 67 billion from the DOH, and you have the findings of the COA. So all of this, you put all of this together, and then the news that the Dutertes are running together but only using different posts, then I really believe that that there is a breaking point in the patience and the gullibility of the Filipino people. Yung may level, may kwan rin po, may hangganan rin po yung pwede tayo lituhin o gawing paisipin ng mga stupido tayo. May limitasyon po yun. So I end here with more updates to come in the coming days and more analysis. So again, please subscribe to the Vlogcaster Armand YouTube channel to join me in witnessing these unfolding developments that will affect all of us. And see you in my next vlog. Vaya con Diyos, go with God. Adios y hasta la vista. Gracias.